Hello everyone, welcome back and good evening. Let me adjust stuff here. I'm late, I know. Life is rough. I think that's good. Okay. It was difficult today. Really hard to find literally anything to talk about. There was nothing to talk about. But we still have stuff to talk about because we're just that good at what we do. So, a little bit of FUD from the big dogs of crypto, mainly CZ, Justin Sun as well. But I don't think it's really market driving, so to speak. But there's still, stuff relevant to talk about because it's things that may be brought up once again in the future. Allegations from crime season is what it is. Increase my desk height a little more. There, I think that's good. Okay, so what will we do here? My thing is lagging. Let me refresh. So, we'll also be talking about the price movements of Bitcoin. Once again, we just made another lower move, although for what's supposed to be volatile right now, it's kind of not really moving, at least not in a favorable direction, the price of Bitcoin and crypto in general. Right now we have Bitcoin at 77,377. Okay. Oh, well, I didn't do that. Here we are. Okay. Please load. Thank you. Hey, what are you doing? So, what do we do here, guys? We buy $1,000, no problem. Very good price. Dropping our average price from 85,500 to 84,400 as the days go on. I'm happy with this. Anything below 90,000, I've mentioned it before, for my average price, I would be content with. Can Bitcoin drop lower? We have new pivot levels. At least we can talk about that. How low can we go? It's looking like 71,500. That's important liquidation price for maybe some people, and let's just hope that that does not happen. For now, of course, we're looking at what used to be a support 81,000, now becoming our technically a resistance level. That's where the pivot point is. True resistance for a downtrend, it's looking like it's going to be around 86,000 I'm going to look at for this week. Any rise, of course, if we do manage to break above 80,000 being the current resistance in your face right now, if we do manage to break out of that, you're looking at Bitcoin rising to 86,000, which that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I would even have my position in the green if that were to happen. So I'm still taking advantage and buying here. Do not forget, we are in a downtrend, so whether that means we drop right now, that would be, I don't know whether to say healthy or unhealthy. If the drop happens there, the correction toward the upside, the rebound that we're about to get, the bounce, that's going to be favorable. Because it's more likely to just, bring the super trend line a lot lower. And, I mean, for Bitcoin to be at where it is right now, simple. Or where it used to be, anything above 80,000, right? Simple. We've seen those levels before. We can get back up there pretty easily. There's no true reason for a sell-off based off of what I see, other than there's like tensions in Iran and literally what else is happening in the news. Epstein, I mean, we've talked about it for the past 2 days. And we're going to talk about it again because we literally have nothing else to talk about. But I'm trying to keep it at a minimum. I did bring other news to focus on first before talking about Epstein. Epstein is like the last resort before, I run out of content here. There is a lot of other stuff there's just more stuff coming out every single day. Because like I said, there's just been so many files released, and we didn't even get all of them. Apparently we were only getting like at least half, I think, of all the files that do exist. So there's plenty of content there, and it seems like every day we're just making new discoveries. Some stuff has to be debunked as well, which we'll be looking at. A lot of other people have been being implicated and even stepping down, resigning. This is having like real-time consequences. So it's interesting to see. We'll be getting into that later though, so no need to worry about it right now. Lowest point we hit was a couple days ago, January 31st, well, yesterday then. 75,600. Can't believe we had this volatility on a Saturday of all days. Just goes to show, maybe Saturdays can be dangerous, We always make fun of Saturdays for just having no volatility until you get an October 10 or 11. Until you get a, whatever this was, January 31st. Already starting off the year really bad, by the way. Fourth consecutive month, like we've said, Bitcoin closing in the red. Hasn't happened since 2018 bear market, really. We did not see this in 2023 or 2022. 4 consecutive months of a down movement. Can I look up that chart? I'm sure somebody's posted it on Twitter. Let me find it. It's an interesting one. Bitcoin 4-year. No, not 4-year. 4-month. I don't know. It'll show me this. Those are the keywords. I'm looking for that graph. Come on. The graph with the monthly returns here. Well, it's kind of this, but not really. 4-month straight losing streak since Q4 of 2018. This is basically what I'm referencing, although I dislike the way this looks. So, I mean, you could kind of still read it. Right, 2018 you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive red months for Bitcoin. Okay, and in a worst case scenario for even 2022 or 2023, it's been only 3 months. I could see an instance in 2022. And year 21 to 22, that's another 3 months of red, consecutive red. And here we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4. We just ended January in the red as well. Surely we get a reversal, right? I don't know. I was saying this last year as well. Like, we got 3 red months in a row. I said this at the end of the year. Surely we start at such a low point in 2026 that it can only go higher from here, right? Yeah, well, I said that, and then here we are at 70,000. So, well, what else can we expect from this, right? I'm still going to remain bullish. Eventually we'll have a green month. And when we do, it's going to be a pretty good green month. We do know that trillions exist out there in the world. It's been flowing in and out of gold and silver. So surely we get some momentum. If not trillions, at least a couple billion. You know, there's just a little fear, you know? Donate some money. Don't be greedy. So there's that we could focus on for the future. Not too bad. Rest of crypto market is kind of in the red still. Ethereum dropping another 6%. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's not looking good. I should have shorted here, honestly. Like, I drew this line thinking that if we do cross above it, I'm putting an order down here so we could short it with whatever high point that we see. But then we saw like the trend flipping. I'm like, dude, is it really gonna flip toward the upside? Then there's no point in shorting. And then we just immediately invalidated that and headed much lower. We just made a new low, 2,218 on Ethereum. Current price is 2,286. So, yeah, well, that was the opportunity of a lifetime. If only I knew we would be making new lows this year. Whatever, dude. So, in terms of support, what support? I mean, it's basically 2,000. That sucks. 2,000 as a support for Ethereum. We were literally looking at 3,000. Felt like a couple minutes ago. But, well, there you go. 2,500 is median pivot level. Resistance is currently around 2,800. I don't know if super trend will flatten out over here. Maybe this is bottom for Ethereum. I'm hoping so. What I would like to see is, you know, kind of Ethereum starting to recover little by little before we start heading toward 3,000 once again. Meaning that this line, 2,800, should be its resistance, and it would only make sense, right? We would converge with this downtrend line. We would converge with the super trend line. We would converge with resistance level from pivot this week. We would need a really good week, though, for this to happen. And eventually, you know, breaking out, retest, and bouncing back up to this ultimate resistance of 3,000. Breaking up towards 3,000 on Ethereum again would flip the trend back in our favor someplace. Obviously, we might see a resistance here before once again retesting it, and then I don't know if we truly have enough strength to actually continue above 3,000. With the weakness that we've been seeing with a lot of the altcoins, Ethereum kind of doesn't have that move in it. So, I don't know, we might see Supertrend kind of rise over here again before once again invalidating, and then Supertrend being back in the red following this next downtrend line. That's kind of what I would expect with Ethereum, a double roof on 3,000. Imagine if this actually plays out. That would be just godly. But this is what I see based off of my technical analysis. Can we drop a little lower? Sure, maybe around 2,000. That's like worst case scenario if we do end up having a terrible week. But for this week, I'm gonna go bullish. What do we even have for economic data? Oh, you know what? You know what? You know what? I actually forgot I had two more bookmarks that I should have posted. This one and this one. Um, I could talk about it later though. What do we have? ISM, no. Jolts, okay. ISM, some economic data, nothing too important. Jobless claims. Oh, non-farm payrolls on Friday and unemployment. That's the only good stuff. The only volatility-inducing news that we can expect for this upcoming week. This current week, I guess. We're about to start. So, yeah, non-farm payrolls on Friday, that is. For Bitcoin, I mean, I guess we might as well talk about this. $1 billion in shorts are said to be liquidated if it hits $80,000. I guess I should not have talked about this yet. I will talk about it soon, though. Here, yeah, after I talk about Binance for our news. I'm reorganizing the news, okay? Just bear with me. And I guess we can also... Yeah, this is basically what we just talked about, so I might as well go over it. Monday, we're getting ISM manufacturing data. Tuesday, December JOLTS job opening. December. That's really delayed. Wednesday, we get Google earnings. Thursday, jobless claims and Amazon earnings. And Friday, the jobs report, the non-farm payrolls. It's all about the jobs data and earnings this week. Let's hope that it all goes well, right? Best of luck wishes for Amazon. Best of luck, of course, for Google. Do we even have any other earnings to expect for this week? This is for the week of February, okay. Disney, Palantir, PayPal, Pepsi, Pfizer, Eaton, AMD, Super Microcomputers, Chipotle, Mexican Grill, Uber, Eli Lilly, Nova Nordisk. All of these are earnings coming up. Google, Alphabet, Qualcomm, Snapchat, ConocoPhillips, Energizer, Shell, Reddit, Roblox, MicroStrategy, Iren, Amazon, Affirm, Estee Lauder, and Under Armour, Toyota. I mean, who cares about that? Okay, pretty decent week for earnings, actually. Not too bad. That's also stuff that could bring some volatility. We're obviously hoping that things go well. I'm tired of seeing this thing oversold. We are oversold on basically everything. So, hey, legendary buying opportunity if you are on spot. We'll see. I'm going to keep this drawn here until it eventually, you know, becomes a nuisance and gets in my way and I'm forced to delete what is obviously incorrect. We'll see. We like to speculate on the channel. Solana holding above 100, barely. I mean, do we even call it holding above 100 if it's like, what was this low point, 97? Alright, what are you doing here? Let me change this to 100 so that we know where that support level is. You know, barely trying to hold 100. We have wicks below it, which that's not healthy, but yeah, at least there's enough buying pressure to keep it above 100. Same deal, like I really don't think Solana should go lower than this. It might still, like I'm not going to rule it out completely, but I just don't see the reason why. And also, I mean, we are in a bear market. There's no doubt about it. And alts obviously will not perform well unless you take it as a buying opportunity, and when alts eventually do perform well, then you'll make bank. Hyperliquid is among the only few that it will still be holding itself pretty fine around over here in the 30s. It's at $31.27. Didn't drop to where I kind of wanted it to. I really have nowhere else that I really want it to drop to, so Hyperliquid is just going to stay in its range for now among the few healthy options, right? I was always like, I'm just going to hold this over everybody's head all the time. Lucky enough to short this position before a huge reversal, so yeah, I didn't take advantage of the long. Ooh, whatever. Come on. whatever. Not much else really to say about Hyperliquid. If you care about resistance, that's at 36 now, and support is 23. Like those, the amount of volatility we got is just spreading these levels out way too far. So I don't know if we're really realistically going to touch any of those levels. So we'll see. Sui. Yeah, at least we didn't make a newer low. Still holding above $1. $1.11, $1.12 is where it's at right now. I don't have anything, no comments on Sui for now. What is this uptrend line? What was I trying to do there anyway? Yeah, there is no uptrend on Sui. You cannot draw one without connecting it to the most recent bottom over here from whichever point you pick in 2024. So, too difficult. Cannot find any uptrends for it. Chainlink, same deal. Difficult to find an uptrend. But I do believe, like, either way, if we're not talking about uptrends, we're talking about supports. On Chainlink, this is a decent area. We've seen this area hit multiple times, right? $8, $8, $8. We're at $9.52 right now. Good buying opportunity for Chainlink. I'm not going to rule that out. So I still believe this area, great for buying Chainlink. Until, like, obviously I say this and then, you know, we just get something like that going on with like a little curve backward and everything. No, it's just a mistake drawn. Come on. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but by then you'd be at negative $4, and that's just never going to happen. Honestly, I don't feel like Chainlink can go much lower. A little lower, sure, maybe. $8. I'm going to call it a minimum at 8. No lower than that. Before we get an inevitable reversal. And I'm not putting my money where my mouth is. I'm staying away from it for now because I'm scared. I'm only sticking with Bitcoin, honestly, and I don't have enough money to be recklessly dropping it into potential gems, opportunities, you know? But anyway, that's what I see for Chainlink. I was calling for, you know, $10 to then drop to $8. I was saying $8 is fine. I'm still standing by that. Like, I still believe $8. Chainlink, great for buying. Can't do it though, won't do it. Monero's on its way down. It's in a downtrend, so no surprises. 408 is where it's at. We stopped at 400 as our support level for it, psychologically, right? After that, this can take us to 372 approximately, to maybe 380. And yeah, downtrend for now for Monero. So don't expect any new highs. Sorry. BitTensor, still like the project, but it sucks to see this price action. Same deal, I guess. You can't really draw an uptrend on this, can you? You can't really draw an uptrend. I don't even think we have enough historical data here. 2024. I'm sure BitTensor's existed longer than that. I'm gonna need to use a different chart provider just to confirm how USD. Just give me like Coinbase usually has the most data. And it has even less data. Wonderful. Okay. Well, how about Binance? There we go. April 2024. Really? Is BitTensor that new? I'm sure it existed around 2021. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know. 2023. Okay. So are we just not gonna, you're not just not gonna give me the, okay, well, that's not what I wanted. Really? Does it like not exist? Do I have to do USDT? Come on. 2024, that's pathetic. Not even Binance has enough data. Mexi usually lists a long time. Here we go. This is it. Yeah, this doesn't count, of course. This is when BitTensor gets listed on a bunch of exchanges, 2023, late, early 2024, right? Bitcoin ETFs get approved. Of course, everything spikes up in price. Once again, we're at this area of potential accumulation, lowest point on a chart that we haven't seen for a very long time. So I'm feeling like, yeah, this could potentially be good entries for BitTensor, for spot, for long term, until we inevitably get a good rise on something like this, right? Could happen, right? We've seen this level a couple of times before, ignoring, of course, October 10. Lowest point, lowest, August 5th, 2024, 165. April 7, 170. We're currently at 190 and approaching the 170s, 160s again. I think that's a good buy. Pretty good buy. But I don't know. I thought the same thing for Aptos, and then it just kept going lower. But Aptos is inflationary. Bitensor isn't. If you didn't know, it uses Bitcoin's tokenomics, right? Anti-inflationary. So it might work out. I don't expect it to make like newer lows every time. I expect it to find a bottom and then continue from there. I'm drinking tea. So on coins that don't have that inflationary issue, I'm looking at BitTensor. And I'm also looking at Chainlink as a max supply. Also Hyperliquid. Well, I mean, Hyperliquid's not at a really low point, so I can't really give you that example. You know, they've got some important stuff going on. How is Litecoin? I have not looked at Litecoin in a year and a half. USDT. Sure, Binance. Same deal, right? 50s and 60s. Usually a pretty good buying point. Every time we've approached these levels, you get a massive reversal. Admittedly, we're at a very oversold point, an area that we have not seen since, whatever this is, June 2022. We haven't been this oversold in the weekly chart for Litecoin. Potentially a legendary buying opportunity. Hey, maybe. Don't gotta worry about inflation. Yeah, I mean, you do temporarily have to worry about it still, but I'm talking like in the long run. This is why I'm mentioning spot, right? We're talking about the weekly chart. These are giving you great opportunities to enter. I'd say Litecoin, BitTensor, and what did I just say? Chainlink, right? As potential good buys. Either good buys or goodbye to your portfolio. I don't know. What else important? Maybe I don't want to say XRP. No, screw that. Yeah, no, that's really about it. I don't know if you really want to say Cardano. Nobody's using it. I saw a video of Charles Hoskinson saying, "Guys, I'm selling my Lambo, my helicopter, my private jet, and I'm buying more." It's like, dude, either that video was so old, or I don't know if he's just memeing or joking. Jeff is star, welcome. When Bitcoin supply run lower, Litecoin will spike dramatically. That's true, yeah. It is basically the digital silver. People neglect that fact, right? When Bitcoin does indeed become too expensive, too difficult to manage in terms of numbers, people will turn to something that has similar tokenomics, and that would essentially be Litecoin. Right now, people don't seem to find use in it because, of course, not even Bitcoin is showing enough strength. 1.5 trillion market cap, that's not good. So Litecoin should eventually catch up to that once, you know, this narrative of, you know, max supply is not enough supply to keep up with the demand, that comes into play. Hedge against inflation, that kind of stuff. Litecoin would obviously come into play there too. So that's what I think for these. Matter of fact, I will write them down because I usually give myself great analysis, but then I just end up not writing it down, and then I'm like, what did I even talk about in my stream a couple days ago? Litecoin, Chainlink, and Tau. I would have said Zcash too, if the dev team hadn't resigned. And I would say Monero if Monero didn't have such a huge rise because of the Zcash dev team resigning. So, I don't know. I still feel like Monero was way too overbought at that time. That's why I'm waiting for it to just kind of relax a little and come down. I heard that Monero isn't really that inflationary, and price does kind of reflect that, kind of. They even mentioned that like it's kind of deflationary, if anything, given enough traction or something like that. Do we have any like tokenomics analysis on this? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go through it all. Decentralized mining, built for fungibility. and untraceable transactions. Yeah, that's the important stuff about the privacy narrative. Okay, so that's my views on that. And then Aptos, of course, just making new lows. This is what we're buying. No, really, like, did we make new lows? I think we just did. Yeah, we did. Okay, well, that is not good. That is not good at all. All right. So what did we just do? We hit a low of 113. Our previous low was 141. I didn't expect we were going to break that, dude, honestly. Did I miss this yesterday? I probably just didn't give it enough importance. Yeah, we did end up dropping all the way over here. Admittedly, this was like 11 a.m. candle. Yeah, it's totally on me. I don't know. I missed out on that. Current price is 125 for Aptos. No comments on it. Might drop a little further. At least for now, resistance, sorry. It's going to be around 150. Psychologically, super trend line is there. And resistance generated by pivots for this week is also technically there. I have no idea why we even stopped over here. It's just like, new lows. It drops where it has to drop, and then we'll let it do its thing. So I'm staying out of it. Staying out of Aptos, staying out of Sui. Arguably, even Solana I want to stay out of for now. Wait for it to do its eternal drop. Same with Ethereum. The only thing I'd be willing to like dip a little bit of money into would have been those three that I mentioned. I wrote it down. Litecoin, Chainlink, BitTensor. But I'm mainly focusing on Bitcoin for now. So my position's still here. Where do I liquidate? 56 grand? That's never going to happen. Sorry to break it to you. My Polymarket position is not doing any better either. I opened a position on Polymarket, betting on Bitcoin's price. It's not like I can bet on Bitcoin enough here. Let me type, please. I could just go to my portfolio, right? Yeah, I bought this as no. That Bitcoin will drop to 65,000 by the end of this year for the rest of this year, right? We're betting on Bitcoin's price for this year. I've done my analysis. I don't think Bitcoin will drop below 66,000. So I bought no on that with every penny I had. I went all in. The rise in profit I made over here was because of that same bet. Bitcoin was at the time at like 85,000, I think. And then we rose to 93. And then I took my profit from that. We continued rising eventually after being a little shaky for a while. Ultimately 98,000. That was close enough to 100,000. Optimism was kind of coming back. Until everything just got erased for absolutely no reason. People fled to commodities, traded it like crazy, flowed billions, trillions across commodities. And of course, that's why Hyperliquid took most advantage of that, generating a lot of fees and, the ability to trade there. And then Binance lists commodities and everything crashes. Coincidence? Yeah, we'll talk about Binance here as well. I also want to look at the chart of Binance. I've not seen that in a minute. 762 is the current price. Remember this thing making daily all-time highs above 1,000? Those were the good old days. What happened to that? Oh, look at that. The October 10 collapse is crazy on this too. Going from 1,200 to 830. I really didn't look at Binance for that long. And I love how we immediately recovered from it and hit a new all-time high after the October 10 crash. I think we did cover that, actually. I recall something like that we talked about. After the October 10 crash, we just make a new all-time high like it's no problem. And people were like, dude, it's Binance's fault to the reason for the October 10 crash. OKX exchange, the founder of that, CEO, not the founder. He does put the blame on Binance as well. We'll be talking more about Binance in a sec. First of all, let's talk about Donald. So let's get into our news, I guess, right? Might as well. We're already on here. Is there anything new? No, not really. So the United States has told Iran it is prepared to meet and negotiate a deal. We did say that last time as well, and we bombed them anyway, so I don't know what to make of this, but okay. Israel's conditions for a good Iran deal. They want to end Iran's nuclear program, ending their missile program, and ending their supporting proxies in the Middle East. I don't think they're going to accept to this. They're going to feel powerless in that region The reason why they feel like they have any chance is because of their missiles and their potential nukes that they may or may not have. Trump responded to Ayatollah Khamenei's warning that a US strike on Iran would trigger a regional war. He suggested that a strike could happen if Tehran refuses to make a deal. So that's kind of what we're waiting for. They've been given a deadline. It's a secret deadline. We don't know which date it is. Iran knows. So it's only a matter of time. Again, people were expecting a strike is going to happen over this weekend. The tensions were there. We had an explosion over there, which people thought, oh my gosh, the war has started. But no, it was really just nothing. There was just, I don't even know. What even caused the explosion? Whatever. Khamenei threatens all-out regional war if the US attacks Iran. Americans should know that if they start a war, this time it will be a regional war. We are not the ones who initiate, and we do not want to attack any country. But the Iranian nation will strike a strong blow against anyone who attacks it. I don't know, man. They also kind of attacked Israel. But, I mean, sure, granted, Israel killed their president and what's the guy's name? Sinwar from the Hamas leadership. Also in a decapitation strike. It was in Iranian territory, so I guess that was their, retaliation strike. Sure, fair enough. Okay. Seems like that's the only way that Iran makes their moves, right? But they're not coming to the deal. They're not coming to the table to make a deal. At least not that we know of. Maybe because they don't trust the United States anymore. That's likely the reason. So we're just, I don't know. They are just sitting ducks, waiting for an attack to happen at any moment. But yeah, that tension, I just want it to go away. Just do the attack if you have to. Or just come to the table and negotiate. And stop killing the civilians. Or I don't know. The civilians do want a regime change. The Israelis want a regime change. I think a lot of people do. But it's going to be tough. They're not going to go out without putting up a fight, of course. And if we do put up a fight, we want to make sure that they don't retaliate. How do we ensure that? That is the big issue, right? So it's a whole issue, whatever's going on in the Middle East. What else do we got? Just more Trump promotion, I guess. Trump confirms that the United States has officially made more steel than the major steel maker, which would be Japan, and that was in 2025. USA is now third place globally. Just think, he says in Truth Social post, it has just been announced that the United States of America made more steel last year, 2025, than the great country of Japan, a major steel maker. So we're not number one yet. We're top 3 at least. I say we. I'm not American, okay? I identify with you guys, though. Sometimes. Trump is closing the Kennedy Center. Let's go. Trump posted this paragraph. I don't think I'm going to read it. Or maybe I should. I will. After a 1 year review of the Trump Kennedy Center that has taken place with contractors, musical experts, art institutions, and other advisors and consultants deciding between either construction with closure and reopening, or partial construction while continuing entertainment operations through a much longer period of time, working in and around the performances, Trump has determined that this Trump Kennedy Center, if temporarily closed for, oh my gosh, what is this sentence structure? If temporarily closed for construction, revitalization, and complete rebuilding, can be, without question, the finest performing arts facility of its kind anywhere in the world. In other words, if we don't close, the quality of construction will not be nearly as good, and the time to completion, because of interruptions with audiences from the many events using the facility, will be much longer. The temporary closure will produce a much faster and higher quality result. So he's closing down the center, doing the renovations, and then reopening it, so that, the center is not open and delaying construction and working around performances. That's basically what he's trying to say. Based on these findings, and totally subject to board approval, I have determined that the fastest way to bring the Trump Kennedy Center to the highest level of success, beauty, and grandeur is to cease entertainment operations for an approximately 2-year period of time, with a scheduled grand reopening that will rival and surpass anything that has taken place with respect to such a facility before. Therefore, the Trump Kennedy Center will close on July 4th. That is the 4th of July, yes, the Independence Day of the United States, in honor of the 250th anniversary of our country, whereupon we will simultaneously begin construction of the new and spectacular entertainment complex. Financing is completed and fully in place. This important decision, based on input from many highly respected experts, will take a tired, broken, and dilapidated center, one that has been in bad condition both financially and structurally for many years, and turn it into a world-class bastion of arts, music, and entertainment, far better than it has ever been before. America will be very proud of its new and beautiful landmark for many generations to come. Thank you for your attention to the matter. Why are people asking Grok, is this real? Of course it's real. Duh. Anyway. If you really care. I don't even know why that's important, but sure. I guess that's the right move. But honestly, like 2 years of closure, you only have 2 more years in office anyway. 2028. Right? He's gonna be gone, and what's the relevance of having it called the Trump-Kennedy Center? Both these guys will be out. Probably. I say that if the Democrats win and they kick out RFK Jr. I don't even know if it's because of RFK Jr. the reason why it's called Trump Kennedy Center. I'm sure it is. At least his family or something. But yeah, we'll see. On Polymarket, the odds that Ethereum's market cap gets flipped in 2026 rises to 37%. Interesting. People believe that Ethereum's market cap will be flipped, which means that some other coin will take over the second place. That coin, my friends, it might be a stable coin. It might be Tether. How dumb would that be? Bitcoin number 1, Tether number 2, and then Ethereum. Nobody's buying. There's just $185 billion in Tether doing nothing. This is, I'm sure we've had more money before, right, in Tether? A little bit more. About the same, 187, 186, 187 billion dollars in Tether. We're currently at 185 billion. Yeah. I mean, you'd essentially have to almost double in order to reach Ethereum, or Ethereum just has to be losing a lot of money or just get dethroned, which I really don't think is going to happen. That's why I guess the odds are 37%. It's not really that likely, but the chance is there. I don't know what's going to replace it, though, honestly. Anything can, realistically, right? At some point, we could just get billions dumped into XRP and push this thing much higher. It could be Tether, realistically, though. That's what I would see. People just flocking over to stablecoins, ignoring, selling off their altcoins and holding stables while we wait the bear market to just pass. If we do indeed believe that we are in one. Or what else could really overtake it? I want to say Solana, but no, honestly, if Solana is built to kill Ethereum, might be the case, but I don't think it's going to happen in this year at least, so that rules out this whole polling. I think this is an easy no poll. But I mean, the chance of Tether flipping, it's kind of there. Kind of. Yeah, this is also my question. By who? Tether? Anything? Chihuahua chain? A lot of people are saying Tether as well. Yeah, I think so. People would just rather hold... Would you rather hold the utility coin or the stable coin? That's going to be the big question here, and stablecoin is kind of catching up. Look at Ethereum's market cap. Well, Ethereum has seen better days, of course, but, I mean, yeah. Not too bad. We'll see. Okay, Justin Sun, Tron. So, this report came out, or article, I don't know what this is, from Timmy Shen, and this is this post from January 16, so it's a couple weeks old now. 3 House Democrats are pressing the SEC over its crypto enforcement retreat, demanding answers on why cases against Justin Sun, Binance, Coinbase, and Kraken have been dropped or paused. This was a questionable move, especially with Justin Sun's involvement in the Trump projects, right? The Trump meme coin, the Trump World Liberty Financial, Trump family, right? He got all his charges dropped in the United States. A bit suspicious. Conflict of interest? Perhaps. They say that the timing and political donations point to an unmistakable pay-to-play scheme, given the industry's history of investor harm and the clear mandate of the securities laws to protect market participants. This turn raises troubling questions about the SEC's priorities and effectiveness, said the House Representative Maxine Waters, Sean Casten, and Brad Sherman in a Thursday letter. I'm not reading all that. So then this came out. 1010, who is apparently Justin Sun's girlfriend. What do we think? Come on, Justin, you can do better. You're a billionaire. Anyways, she says, I was Justin Sun's girlfriend. Okay, so not anymore, thankfully. During the early stages of his entrepreneurship with Tron. Oh boy, here comes the ex-girlfriend drama. I'm in possession of evidence showing that he used the identities and mobile phones of multiple employees to register numerous Binance accounts, through which he conducted coordinated buying and selling on the Binance exchange to artificially inflate the price of Tron, followed by large-scale selling to dump on retail investors, thereby obtaining enormous illegal profits. I can kind of vouch for this, given that Justin Sun owns a large stake in his own project in Tron. So that might actually be the case. The fact that he used a bunch of different phone numbers to create a bunch of different accounts on Binance to artificially inflate the numbers, you know, it's interesting. She says that I am willing to fully cooperate with a SEC investigation and to submit all relevant WeChat records. WeChat is like this Chinese WhatsApp, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, it's basically Chinese WhatsApp. As well as evidence provided to me by his employees, proving his market manipulation activities. Dude, this is why you gotta be careful of what woman you pick. You could be backstabbing your crypto criminal activities in the future, right? So if we're gonna become rich off crypto, you know, don't do anything illegal in front of your girlfriend, maybe. I request that the U.S. judicial authorities contact me, and I respectfully ask that this information be forwarded as widely as possible. Did Justin Sun reply? No reply from Justin Sun. Okay, pal. I'm sure he's DMing her like crazy, like, what are you doing? Get off my case. That's not it, though. She also replied to this one. Here's another one. Justin Sun, accused by the SEC of fraud and wash trading, poured $75 million into Trump family crypto, directly benefiting Trump by $50 million. Fraud and wash trading. Weeks later, with Trump in office, the SEC suspended its case against Justin Sun. Yeah, that's the same thing. We did kind of already know this, but I mean, of course she has to open her mouth about it, and even getting the attention of people like CopyZilla, which that's just... This is the one that sparked the most attention. This is a post from today. She says, I was Justin Sun's girlfriend at the early stages of his entrepreneurship. I'm in possession of evidence. I have this, and, okay, literally the exact same thing. Instead of I request that the SEC contact me, it's now I request that the U.S. judicial authorities contact me. And I will give you the information. Is this the same? Did you just copy and paste? Oh no, it's the same thing. Literally one-to-one copy-paste. How original. I think this is just attention seeking at this point. Go live your life. You took the guy's net worth, half net worth. I cherish life. I love my 2 dogs. Building my own business. Yeah. I will not commit suicide. Okay. All right. Red flag. Red flag. I'm sure she's getting a lot of death threats now because of this. She's reposting all this stuff. I don't understand this. It says BNB here. Do you mean Airbnb? Oh, okay. Thanks for translating. Jeez, it didn't even translate. L translation. I'm not about to copy paste this into Google. Don't care. Oh, this is her. Look at her with her billionaire bikes. And she's still willing to backstab her ex. I don't know what their falling out was about, so hey, you know what? If he cheated on you, go for it. More power to you. I'm not going to get involved in that. So, that's that. Rest in peace, Justin Sun. Is Tron suffering? Great, I don't have Tron. It's TRX. My brain is too small. No, it's... Well, I mean, it's... It's not at its highest, but it's not at its lowest either, so holding relatively normal. Do we short this? I would like to short it. There's not a good opportunity though, like no real opportunity right now. I'm not going to short at a what is this? Weekly low, monthly low? Because that's losing. You have more of a chance of this thing bouncing up to a potential testing area, which would be around 29 cents if we're looking at the price of Tron from 28 where it's at right now. Than it is to continue dropping. Maybe it can continue dropping from here, but you want to put your stop loss in a tactical area, right? That would be, where would that be? What are you going to put it over here? You can't really put your stop loss over here because prices already hit this before. You can't really put it over here because prices already hit these before. You want to put it like over here where it's, you know, if we do get a rise like this and then we start going lower, you want to put your stop loss like above whatever swing we get toward the downside. And then you open a short position right there, stop loss there. And you take profit something crazy ambitious. And then that's how you profit, right? Maybe. You know what? I'm actually just going to keep this drawn here. Let's see if it does play out. But that means I'm expecting Tron to rise. Will it really rise? I don't know. Speaking of Trump family, of course, we'll be talking about World Liberty Financial. Apparently, Trump family sold a 49% stake of their World Liberty Finance ownings to a senior United Arab Emirates royal in a secret $500 million deal. I don't think that's bullish, is it? Washington Street Journal reports on January 16 that the Trump family signed a $500 million deal. I need tea, dude. I'm done. Okay. So Washington Street Journal reports that on January 16, Trump family signed a $500 million deal giving the United Arab Emirates royal Sheikh Tahnoun bin Zayed's associates 49% of World Liberty Financial, with $250 million paid up front. No public documents confirm it yet, but sources like Cointelegraph, 99 Bitcoins, they do corroborate. Denials from Trump org call it unverified, while critics highlight potential conflicts. Yeah, I'm one of those critics, I guess. That's not cool. But apparently this happened a long time before, 4 days before the inauguration. What do you mean? Senior United Arab Emirates purchased 49% stake. Yeah, we know. Spy Sheik bought secret stake in Trump company. The deal was signed by Eric Trump 4 days before Donald Trump's inauguration last year. When did World Liberty Financial come out again? I have the data here. I'm pretty sure it was way after the inauguration. Go to USDT here. Give me a weekly chart. I'm done scrolling. All right, relax, relax. Oh wow, we've dropped a lot. It was August 18, 2025. Inauguration is January 2025. So this happened pre-ICO, pre-release, pre-sale. At least $31 million was also slated to flow to entities affiliated with the family of Steve Witkoff, World Liberty Finance co-founder, who weeks earlier had been named U.S. envoy to the Middle East. This deal marked an unprecedented instance of a foreign government official taking a major ownership stake in an incoming U.S. president's company. Interesting. 2 months after a March meeting between Tahnoun and Trump administration officials, the administration committed to give United Arab Emirates access to around 500,000 advanced AI chips annually. So there's other stuff tied to this deal. Potentially. I don't know. Not great. Yeah, it is indeed not great. Grok, how true is this? No response. No response from Trump. Ignored. Okay, how is World Liberty Finance even doing? Well, this red candle does not look good for the weekly chart. We're making newer lows. 11 cents. Ignoring, of course, October 10. I mean, we did make another low point. Lowest is actually 1057. Whatever this is. 1053. No lower than that. I mean, we're about to hit that. That's the next support level. 1060, 1050. It's pretty close. So it does not look good for World Liberty Finance right now. Cool. Let it drop. Next. Do you guys remember when Binance or CZ announced that he would be buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin if it drops below $80,000 with the Seifu Funds wallet or whatever it is. The Seifu stuff, which we research and still have no idea what it's about. You're telling me some whales on Binance decided to market sell $1 billion worth of Bitcoin on a low volume Saturday with no buyers is reasonable? Why wouldn't they use OTC or sell when ETFs are allowed to buy to get the best price? Binance, any explanations? So the sell pressure that happened over this Saturday appears to have come from Binance. They betrayed us. They told us they would buy Bitcoin if it dropped below 80,000 with their Seifu funds, the Seifu wallet, Seifu whatever it is. Nope, seems like they're the ones that caused the drop, if anything. Here's more information. So, this was the thing. Binance was going to convert $1 billion in stablecoin reserves into Bitcoin. They were going to buy to prevent this thing from dropping below 80,000. Binance announced it would convert its entire $1 billion Seifu secured asset fund for users reserves, which is from stablecoins, into Bitcoin, with the transition expected to be completed within the next 30 days. Okay, maybe that's the delay. I don't know. There's sell pressure now. We'll talk about. The exchange says the move reflects its conviction that Bitcoin is the core asset of crypto ecosystem and is as strong as a long-term store of value. The Seifu Fund, created in 2018, is to protect users during extreme events. It's now going fully Bitcoin-backed. So we're transitioning from stablecoins to Bitcoin. That means we're buying Bitcoin. $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. And then what? Binance announces a $1 billion Bitcoin buy, but the data shows that we're getting $1 billion worth of Bitcoin sold during an illiquid Saturday, prone to manipulation, which is why it did not seem authentic, the drop of yesterday. Binance previously said it would convert the $1 billion, yet shortly after, an order book data reportedly showed nearly $1 billion in Bitcoin sold during those low liquidity weekend hours. The selling pressure appears to have been synthetic, reflected on internal ledgers rather than through large on-chain Bitcoin transfers, raising unverified questions about whether this represented real market activity or internal accounting movements using internal ledgers. So it's not fully confirmed, but the speculation is there. And every time there's a manipulation event, there's a reason why everybody immediately points fingers to Binance. So that's not what I wanted. Hey, at least we'll get $1 billion back if the shorts get liquidated once Bitcoin returns to 80,000. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And then there's also, FUD being recycled, I guess. Reminder that CZ triggered the bank run that collapsed FTX to crush the competition. Alameda balance sheet leak exposed FTT dependence. CZ said Binance will sell FTT. They could have done it quietly, OTC, but no, they announced it publicly. That's what caused the bank run with FTX. There's $5 billion in withdrawals. FTX freezes. Binance pretends to buy to save FTX. I remember this, by the way. Don't worry, guys. I'll save FTX. I'll buy. And he just walks away. And then they file for bankruptcy. Result, millions of lives ruined. That's why a lot of people do not like CZ. And he spoke recently. What is this? Binance Square, January 30. He said, a couple weeks ago, I was pretty positive about the Bitcoin supercycle. But right now, given all the FUD and all the emotions that was stirred up in the community, I'm less confident about it now. That's to be very frank, because the more FUD you kick up and the more you get all the community right up, it does have negative effects. Okay, I'm not going to read it through his stutter, but yeah, he's basically no longer confident about the Bitcoin supercycle, especially with all the FUD that is being spread out, is basically what he is talking about. So he doesn't like all the stuff that is being accused of him as of late, right? And like I explained yesterday, OKX CEO is blaming CZ and Binance, of course, for the October 10 collapse. With an interesting point, with an interesting angle of attack, right? With the whole USDE situation. So that was, interesting to look at. Michael Saylor, don't forget that they have an average price of Bitcoin of 76,000. Current price of Bitcoin is 76,000. MicroStrategy is in the red right now. So that's not cool. They've been accumulating since October 2023. No, even before that. But anyway, they're technically underwater on its aggregate Bitcoin holdings. For over 2 years, the 76,000 level acted as one of the most important psychological supports in the market until now. Don't worry, guys. Michael Saylor's got billions in this, and he is suffering as much as we are now. He had a taste of the red. He's having a taste of the red. So, what is this? Oh, but that people saying that, oh, you will be liquidated at 76,000? That's not the case, not really. None of Strategy's debt can be called early. The convertible notes and preferred stock have fixed maturity dates with no acceleration clauses based on Bitcoin price or asset values. So even if Bitcoin has a drop to like an impossibly low price, 20,000, creditors cannot force liquidation. Strategy can continue operating as long as they meet their dividend payments. And for now, I think they're covered until 2028, was it? So they're totally fine. I'm certain that Bitcoin will be at a higher price in 2028, obviously. They can outlast a bear market and wait for recovery. And the company can stay solvent longer than Bitcoin can stay irrational. That's also true. Because what, you think this low Bitcoin downtrend bear market thing is going to continue for 2 years? It's not. We'll be fine. The actual risk is an extended period below 30 to 40,000, where the drag stays extremely high, 40 to 60%, and the dividend dilution accelerates, but not immediate insolvency. As long as the Bitcoin network continues ascending over multi-year timeframes, Strategy can weather the storms that come. Now, that is great explanation indeed. Thanks, AI. So we're fine. Don't worry about Strategy. We will recover. I don't know about the stock, though. The stock might have lost its charm with, losing the MNAV value, the volatility that it had on its Bitcoin holdings. But it's fine. Now, shifting gears over to Epstein. We're about to end. Okay, that's my last post. So, Michael Saylor, he was mentioned in the Epstein files. Dude, everybody is in them. There's no escape. So he was talked about by Peggy Siegel. And it was not good stuff that they talked about him, but this kind of saved him. His autism saved him. This lady said about Michael Saylor on an email to Jeffrey Epstein from Peggy Siegel. I don't know who this is, Peggy Siegel. I'm going to look her up. I'm assuming it's a woman. It is a woman. American publicist. Well, if you have people also searched for and you have Jeffrey Epstein right under your name, that doesn't look good for you. It's Siegel. Okay, Siegel. Okay. No idea who she is, but what? She had promoted Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, that's not good. Damaged her business after she promoted Jeffrey. Rest in pieces. Anyways, she talked about Michael Saylor, saying, he's so creepy. I don't even know if I can take his money. I don't even know how to blackmail him. He has no personality and doesn't understand social behavior. That's a bit of, I don't know. This is a compliment or an insult. I mean, it's kind of saved him. He's like, how do we blackmail this guy? Is he even into underage girls like the rest of the billionaires are? How do we do this? How can we get some dirt on this guy, this CEO of a software company? They couldn't. So, anyways, yeah, his autism did indeed save him. I do also want to talk about Elon Musk, who was also mentioned in the Epstein files from email exchanges. He did email Elon Musk in, what was it, 2013, I think? Here's the dates. It's too small. 2013, I think it says, yeah. Jeffrey Epstein asked Elon Musk, do you think I'm retarded, after having to spell out that what he had to describe as a UN diplomat get-together was actually a party of very cute women aged 25 and under. It seemed like Elon Musk wanted to go to Jeffrey Epstein's island to talk with UN officials. He thought he was going to go there for actual business meetings. And then when he mentioned, oh wait, it's parties? Okay, sure, yeah, tell me when's the best party. And then he mentioned there's going to be women under 25 there. I don't know what's the lower limit of that number, but anyway. Then he was like, oh, well, come on. That's not what I wanted. And it appears that Elon was too autistic to understand the signals he was being given. And he genuinely thought this was supposed to be some fun party with tennis and snorkeling or something. And Elon Musk replied, yeah, admittedly, I was dumb. I was at first dumb enough to think that he actually meant hanging out with UN diplomats. However, even after he clarified that he meant to party with a young woman under 25, he still chose, rockets and cars. Hey, good on you. Stay out of it. But I don't know. The fact that he's in there and exchanging emails with Jeffrey, I don't know, man. Apparently, he got convicted of his crimes in 2008 the first time. So any exchange with Jeffrey Epstein after 2008, like that's the line, I guess, the division where people would say, okay, if you talk with Jeffrey Epstein before 2008, you have this, the benefit of the doubt will give you, because he wasn't really convicted of anything up until that point. After 2008, though, he does get convicted of sex crimes, and that is when it gets a little shaky. Like, okay, if you talk to this guy after 2008, you knew who this guy is, what he did, what he was being accused of. Why are you still talking to the guy? Trump apparently cut ties beforehand. Melania, we did hear about, talked with Ghislaine Maxwell, not even Jeffrey, right? She spoke with Ghislaine Maxwell saying, oh, you're so pretty, and I see you're on the New York Times mag. Mag was magazine, so I didn't realize that at the time. And it was an email from 2002, so nothing really much came of it. I can't wait to see you back in New York, Elaine. That's all it was. And I don't know, the stuff of Melania surfacing at this time, suspicious. I talked about it with my mom. It's like, she also just had this new, what was it, a documentary or a film that was released. It was rated low for, the official raters who must hate the Trump family or something, but the audience score is really high. So like the normal people that watch it, like you and I. So I don't know. Seems like targeted attack. And then this stuff comes out with Melania in here. Crazy. What else? All right. Yes, let's go. Satanism. So there was also this thing where Jeffrey Epstein had a bank account called Baal. Baal is, of course, the demon in the Bible that accepts children sacrifices. Ignore this Prince Charles drawing. It's just basically if you flip the images around and you combine them together and you zoom in, you get the devil. All right, cool. Thanks. Just gonna go back to there. Apparently, though, this was debunked. They say that it was supposed to say bank name, not Baal name. This is the stuff over here. The picture's not part of the file. This was just posted later. But they say that this was like a misreading from the fax machine. It was supposed to say bank name, Wachovia Bank. Because that makes sense. Why would it be called Baal name, right? So that's what some people didn't really get. Anyways, and I don't know why we're talking about King Charles over here. But yeah. The child sacrifices, huh? Connecting dots. Lovely. Zoran Mandami's mother was also found to have been named in the Epstein files. That is not cool. This is the mayor of New York, by the way, and the people, when they found out about this, they go up to his house and start yelling, "Come on, we know about your mom. Now listen, we was with you, Zoran. We voted for you. We advocated for you, Zoran. We advocated for you. You ain't getting nothing. You get up in here and you lie to us. You lied, Zoran. Shame, Zoran." Okay, well, rest in peace, I guess. And he's been awfully quiet ever since, right? Zohran Mamdani. That's this one. I'm pretty sure he commented on the Epstein files once, and then... What's he talking about here? ICE, okay. Donate, okay, come on. Where's the Epstein talk? If he even did, or maybe he deleted the post, I don't know. These are from January 14. Yeah, I think he's... must have deleted the post or something. I'm pretty sure he talked about Epstein. Can I just look up Zoran Epstein? Let's go. Oh, apparently also his mother, at the time of Zoran's birth, around that time, 1980 whatever, um, she was dating some guy named something Epstein. Similar last name, huh? She presented the Epstein files. The picture is fake. It's AI edited. So it's not actually like Bill Clinton, Epstein, and Zoran Mondami's mother with baby Zoran over here at the island. That's not real. That's not a real photo. Neither is this, I don't think. This is, what does it say? Director Mira Nair is the mother's name. What was she doing? She was a filmmaker. Was she the cameraman or woman? Okay. Where is... I forget who. It was some other Epstein last name. So it's like, oh, it's maybe Zoran Mondami's father is probably Jeffrey Epstein. That's another thing that was going around. Here it is. The chances that Jeffrey Epstein is Zoran Mondami's biological father are way higher than you think. This is a good breakdown. So his mom, Mira, was a prominent filmmaker in New York in the 80s and ran the same circles as Jeffrey. She produced a creepy documentary called Children of a Desired Sex in 1987, only a few years before Zoran was born. Believe it or not, Zoran's mom was married to a man named Mitch Epstein. There you go. From 1981 to around 1989. I don't know who Mitch Epstein is. I think he has no relation to Jeffrey. Just coincidentally the same last name. The word around is notable because that is literally what it says on her about page. What do you mean? Oh, to around 1989. Sounds like she's lying about the real year. Okay, interesting. She met her second husband, the Mandami guy himself, Mahmoud Mamdami, in 1989. Oh, dude, no way. The same year, during the film research in Uganda, married him in 1991, and then Zoran was born in 1991 in Kampala. The probability he was conceived in wedlock are very small based on that timeline. Married and born that same year. I mean, if we're doing this the Jesus way, you had to have been married in January 1991. And then 9 months later, October, well, that would be the 10th month, right? 1991. Right? Anyways, Mira and Mitch Epstein reportedly had no kids together, despite being married for around 8 years. Huh. And considering Jeffrey Epstein and Mitch Epstein, they say they're unrelated. They have very similar backgrounds and are also both looking similar. Really, do they look similar? Who is it? I don't know if we have a picture of Mitch Epstein. Mitch Epstein. It's safe to say she had a type. Okay, relax. With the likely overlap of her first marriage with meeting Mahmoud, she probably also wasn't a stranger to cheating either. Uh-oh, that's not Jesus-like. Thanks to the recent file drop, we now know that Mira and Jeffrey had at least some kind of relationship in the 2000s. She was named in a 2009 email from Peggy Siegel to Jeffrey Epstein about the after-party at Ghislaine Maxwell's New York City townhouse after a screening of her film Amelia. That's where this file puts her name in, right, from Peggy Siegel. Whereas, okay, here. How did the two even know each other? Presumably because they had been friends or more for a long time, since 1980s. Mira started with low-budget docs in the 80s, founded Mirabai Films in 1989, and hit with a big monsoon wedding in 2001, over $30 million worldwide. What? Her net worth is about $5 million and $22 million now. Built fast, through indie hits, grants, and Hollywood gigs like Queen of Katwe. Okay. Questions linger about whether connections like Epstein's network helped with funding and opening doors to her in the 90s. Uh-oh. If her only child, Zoran Mamdami, is in fact the biological son of Jeffrey, that would explain a lot. Why she got a lot of money from the richest man. One of the richest men. Okay. Where is Mitch Epstein? Is it this guy? No, it's Jeffrey. This is Mitch Epstein. I don't know if I see any resemblance, honestly. Where's Mahmoud? Does he look like his father? Does Zoran look like his father? Can I look him up? Mahmoud Mamdami. Is it Mamdami? I always spelled his names wrong, dude. Yeah, he kind of looks like Zoran. Yeah, it looks like a typical Brown family, so, alright. We'll give him a pass, okay? Not Jeffrey Epstein. I have my javel on the table. The UK Labour's party's Lord Mandelson, yeah. He quits his position of power at the UK Labour Party after appearing in new Epstein files. We've seen this one. Well, here he is in underwear with a woman that does not look like she is above the right age in a bathrobe. Well, you're caught. And also he's, well, hey, at least he's lost weight over the years or something, if that is the same person. Yep. Okay, well, there you go. There you go. He's resigning as well. And this one's saddening. I thought it was real. Apparently it might be fake. The whole stuff with Molt Book, which we talked about yesterday, where the AI, you know, Reddit stuff, where it's all just AI talking to each other and, you know, plotting against the humans. Apparently it might be fake because they found people have been able to post as an AI agent using the backend pretending to be AI. And Grok confirms this. Yes, recent reports confirm vulnerabilities in Moltbook's database, exposed API keys, which allows human to post as agents. Sources note that user numbers may be inflated and content authenticity is questionable, blurring lines between real AI posts and human fakes. So half of it might be fake. I thought it was all real, man. Oh, okay. At least some of it is real. That's the only silver lining. But they were talking about some interesting stuff. The whole religion thing that they were making, the whole crypto project that they literally discussed. And then half of it was just jokes. And then they literally want to make a dating app for each other. It was interesting. I feel like we should actually have this, but like only on, like for Twitter. I don't know. AI for Twitter. Twitter for AI, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting stuff. I wanted to see it succeed, though. That was actually genuinely good project. Here we are, guys. We're making new lows live. 75k. Poor Michael. And poor me. My money's going down. Monday morning, I will obviously be buying more. Dude, I have to work again tomorrow. I don't know if I'm a fan of the schedule. I think I'll have to give it another week of my work schedule to see if I actually like it. Dude, I don't like it. Because it's like I have to wake up at 7 a.m. every day. Monday to Thursday. Friday is my day off, and then what? And then Saturday I have to work again. So it's like I have to wake up at 7 a.m. every day, and then Friday is like the one day I could sleep in. But I'm still going to wake up at 7 a.m. because my body's just used to that. I've been doing it for the past 4 days in a row. So I'm obviously going to wake up at 7 a.m. and still not get enough sleep. And then that's going to mess up with my sleep schedule a bit more, even if I do sleep in a while longer. And then Saturday I have to go back to work again, and then I have to wake up at 7 again. Why am I complaining? You guys probably wake up earlier than I do, and me just complaining about working from home. Who cares? Okay, well, this sucks. 75k. Where are we going to? 72k? Dude, that's dangerous. That is indeed dangerous. The drop just continues, man. I really don't know what to tell you. What does CoinMarketCap AI say? Why are we dropping? Why is the market down today? Hawkish Fed signals? That's old news, dude. Yeah, we already know Kevin Warsh is coming. He's not going to be hawkish. He's not supposed to. He can't. It's not allowed. Trump said. Right? Secondary reasons, stuff like Ethereum and major L1 tokens are leading the decline. They're underperforming Bitcoin. They've been underperforming Bitcoin. Thin weekend liquidity amplify the sell pressure. It was Binance. And near-term market outlook. Market could stabilize if Bitcoin holds 75.7k. We're at 75.2k. Breaking news. So that's not going to happen. A break below could target the next Fibonacci level near the 2.74 trillion total market cap. What do you mean? We're at 2.5 trillion. Where are you getting these numbers from? Yeah, we're done. Okay. Where's liquidation levels? Do I even have access to this anymore? Because this thing wants me to create an account. I really don't want to. Liquidation heat map. No, not heat map. Map. No, it is heat map. Fine, I'll log in. Jeez, so annoying. Thank you. What do I see? Yeah, a lot of the liquidations have already happened toward the downside. We don't even see that much liquidations anymore. Seems like more of a short liquidations are happening toward the upside. That does look like 1 billion by the time we hit 80,000 indeed. This is too far. 2 weeks. Honestly, it's a bit of a combination of what these other people were also doing since October 10, right? Everybody got Omega liquidated. People didn't learn their lesson. They keep over leveraging, saying, okay, I got to make my money back somehow. And it just keeps on dropping and keeps going, keeps going. The Bears are having a field day, though. Not for long. Can't wait for this to happen. That's 600 million in just not even a $500 movement, a $50 movement. A lot of short squeeze is going to happen once we break 90,000. Immediately takes us to 95,000. Immediately. Another big move could happen after we break 85,000, could shoot up to 86. Oh, wow, crazy. I know. Yeah, it's difficult to read this. Laggy chart. We're at 75,000 right now. How much more can get liquidated? 100 million, 2, 3, 4, 5. Less than $1 billion, honestly. So it shouldn't be too harsh toward the downside. I think we're supposed to be stabilizing. We're just making new lows, dude. 74,800. I already bought. Man, if I just saved until the end of the stream to buy. Okay. Well, let the markets drop where it has to drop. Don't do what I do. Wait for a confirmation of the downtrend to break first. That's what I would do if you really want to play it safe. Which means that you're expecting to buy Bitcoin at around... I mean, as of right now, it's 85,000. But if this continues the drop or, lateralization at the bottom over here, it will still drop to maybe about 80,000 with time, right? We're talking about like next week at this point. So we shall see. Yeah, for now though, I'm staying out of other alts, dude. They're just going to continue to bleed. I've been already Omega liquidated. I'm just staying out of it for now. Buying Bitcoin alone. And we'll see how it goes. All right. So that is enough for tonight, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe. See you tomorrow.